Hey, my crochet people. This is Mariah from Dolls and Stuffies. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the most basic stitches you need to know to start your amigurumi. So the first one that pretty much all amigurumi pieces start off with, there are some exceptions, is the magic ring. Magic ring can cause a lot of pain and suffering when you're first starting out, so I have some tips that will hopefully help you as you start out. We're going to be talking about single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet increase, single crochet invisible decrease, and just decrease, and a few more. So I am going to turn the camera around, grab your hook, and we'll get started. The first stitch we're going to be talking about today is the magic ring. So as I said before, this is the most common way to start an amigurumi piece, and I am going to show you some tips and tricks of how to make the magic ring work for you. So this is how I start my magic ring. You're going to take the start of your yarn and you're going to pinch it between your thumb and your ring finger right there. Then you're going to take it over your next two fingers, bring it back down underneath that ring finger, and then bring it back so you're making an X. And then with this, you're just gonna have your thumb hold that as well. So you have an X on this side, and then on this side you have two parallel lines with the yarn. You're gonna take your hook, you're gonna go under the first, and then you're gonna grab the second. Bring that second up and under the first, and then you're gonna give it a little bit of a twist. So you'll have yarn on your hook, and then you'll have that front yarn, and then you'll still have that back yarn right here. You'll continue taking that back yarn, you'll just yarn over, and then I kind of let go for this part because it's easier for me, and I hold on to this first loop that we had on our hook so that it's easier for me to get this loop underneath this one. So we're just going to pull that through, and now we have the start of our magic ring. So most projects starts with the magic ring of 6. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 6 single crochet, which we'll talk about in the next part of the video, in the magic ring. Okay, that puts us at 6 single crochet. Now, if you are working with chenille yarn, oftentimes people struggle closing the magic ring because the yarn tends to break. A trick to help it not break is to, instead of pulling this string first, you'll want to come over here and just push your crochet stitches that you just did. You just want to push them all together, up and all together. So see how I kind of bunched those right there? Now you'll take this ring, or this string, that starting string, and you'll give that a pull. And then that will close your magic ring without any breaking. And that is how you start a magic ring. Now we'll just keep going with our single crochets. Normally the next row will be increases, and so you'll just keep on going with that. If you have tried over and over again and the magic ring is still not working for you, do not worry. There's another easier method that you can try, and it's called the chain 2 method. So we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and you're just going to chain 2. So just yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, 2 chains. Next, you're going to single crochet your 6 stitches into the first chain. So you see how you have the second chain here, first chain here. This is where you'll single crochet your 6 stitches. And that will also give you a magic ring, and then you just keep going starting from that first single crochet that you did. The next stitch we're going to talk about today is a single crochet. So if you're working in your magic ring or on a chain, you're going to find your stitch. You want to go through both stitches, so you see how there's a front loop and a back loop. Make sure you go through both of those. You're going to insert your hook. You're going to either yarn over or yarn under. For amigurumi, I like to yarn under, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. That's a simple single crochet stitch. So we're going to do it again in the next stitch. just like that. Now, if you have a single crochet increase, you're just going to do 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. 1 single crochet, and then in that same stitch, another single crochet. Let's do the same in the next stitch. So you find your next stitch, single crochet, 1 more single crochet. Next, we'll talk about a decrease, a single crochet decrease. So you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch. Now, I'll show you the normal decrease, and then I'll show you an invisible decrease. So just normal decrease, you're going to insert, yarn over, yarn under, pull through, and you're not going to finish your single crochet. You're going to go into the next stitch, do the same. So you'll have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through all 3. So it makes 1 stitch using 2 stitches. So again, insert in the first stitch, pull through, second stitch, and then yarn over all the stitches to make 1 stitch. Now, if you want to do an invisible decrease, which I highly recommend, it just makes it so there's less holes and it makes your work look a little bit neater. What you're going to do is you're going to insert your hook through the front loop only. So like how we said, there's 2 loops. There's this, this loop right here. If I can grab it, there we go. So this loop, and then that's the back loop. So we're just going to go through the front loop of this stitch, the front loop of the next stitch. So you went through these 2 loops. Whoops, lost it. There we go. We're just going to do a normal single crochet. So you're going to pull it through both of those loops and then finish it off as normal. So again, we're going to go through the front loop only. Front loop only, normal single crochet after that. And those are your single crochets, single crochet increases, and single crochet decreases with the invisible decrease. Another very basic stitch that you'll see a lot in amigurumi is a slip stitch. So a slip stitch is similar to a single crochet, except there's 1 less step. So you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over, yarn under, whichever you prefer. You're going to pull up that loop, and instead of yarn overing again, you're just going to continue pulling that same loop through. So again, you put it through the next stitch, grab your yarn, and pull it up through that stitch. And that is a slip stitch. All right, a half double crochet stitch is similar to a single crochet, except there's 1 extra step. So instead of inserting your hook through the next stitch first, what you're going to do is yarn over and then insert your hook, and you'll either yarn over, yarn under, whichever you prefer, pull it through. So you'll have 3 stitches on your hook, and then you'll yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches. This just makes a little bit of a bigger stitch. And it's used a lot in snuggler pieces and other pieces within amigurumi. So again, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, take your yarn, pull up, and then pull through all 3 stitches. Now a half double crochet is very similar. There's just 1 extra step. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up your yarn, and instead of going through all 3 loops, you're going to yarn over, pull up through 2 loops, then you'll have 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. So again, we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up the yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is a double crochet. This last stitch we're going to talk about today, and it's not really a stitch, it's more of a technique, it is fastening off. So I am just finishing off this cat's head. I still need to do the detailing, but I need to close up her head right now. So what we're going to do, just to make sure that this hole is closed, We're going to slip stitch. This is my first stitch in that last round, so we're going to slip stitch into this one. This round I did 6 decreases, so there's 6 decreases in this round. So again, we'll just take that stitch marker off. We're going to slip stitch through that first stitch. And we're going to leave a long tail. So slip stitch, and then we're going to cut this, but leaving, it doesn't have to be super long, like that. Okay, now we are going to sew this hole closed. So for this, you're going to need your darning needle. So you're just going to put your yarn, thread your yarn in, and then we are going to go through the front loop only of all 6 of these stitches. So front loop, so that's just the front loop. And you're not going to pull tight, you're just going to pull it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we went through all 6 stitches. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needle in through this hole and just bring it out somewhere in the head. And then when we pull, see how it's going to pull all of those stitches tight together. Oh, that's so satisfying. And then that will close your work. And then with this yarn, just so it doesn't come unravel, I'm just going to take it through my work a couple of times. So I go through the same stitch that I just came out of. That way it doesn't change the shape of your work. So just go through the same stitch, but then the stuffing will help hold it in place. And then we will just cut our yarn. And that is how you finish off a piece. Nice and clean. One thing that I forgot to mention is that all of this is in US terminology. UK terminology is a little bit different. Their stitches are like 1 off. It gets a little bit confusing. There's a lot of conversion charts online, so if you're having trouble with that, go check those out. But other than that, I hope that this helped you in your crochet journey. I'm so excited to see all of your projects. Please tag me in them so I can see them. Check me out on Instagram, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Have fun crocheting!